Hi, I'm John Prettie, and I'm here with my friend Jim McManaman. We're going to be doing the commentary this year for the Homecoming Parade, August 4th, 2007. And what a fabulous day today, Jim.
It sure is. What a lot of work and preparation went into this, but I think people are going to be very pleased when they see the parade coming down the street. Biggest and best parade Owen Sound's ever seen.
Absolutely. So let's get started. Well, Jim, here, look at that. You can see Admiral Owen, alias Captain Owen.
Right, and there's our town crier, Drew Ferguson. He's done a great job with the 150 celebrations. There's Tommy Bryan's carrying the homecoming banner as well.
Excellent. So. And look at those balloons behind that say 150, and we'd like to thank Deb Haswell.
There she is there, right.
Yeah, she designed and put those together.
And the Rocking Horse did a great job with those balloons.
They certainly did. What do we have next here, Jim? Looks like the
Sound Police Services coming ahead with their one of their motorcycles and one of their newer cruisers. Now, the viewers may be able to see that's the new deputy chief, and of course our chief Tom Kay riding in the cruiser there.
And again, we can't thank everybody enough for coming out today to view this parade. The crowds are huge, and the weather couldn't be better.
It sure, yep. The nice weather has really brought people out. Just look at on Main Street here. They're 4 and 5 deep all along their parade route, so it's great to see.
And we always put the emergency services vehicles at the beginning of the parade, Jim. As you know, in case of an emergency, they can escape quickly and get to whatever might be happening. But we're hoping on a beautiful day like this that nothing will.
Right, they won't have any marching bands in the way to drive around. They can just scoot out. Now there's obviously our new fire truck. It's a new rescue. The city just took delivery of it, and it's a brand new pumper rescue. That's we're driving that great.
What would a vehicle like that cost?
Oh boy, there's a good question, but it'd have to be at least in the neighborhood of $500,000.
Wow! I know today in the parade we're going to see some antique fire trucks, so that'll be interesting to
compare the two.
Compare the two,
right.
Exactly.
And now we have the Grey County Ambulance coming along. We always invite the police, fire, and ambulance to take part in the parade, and we certainly appreciate the support of our emergency services.
Well, the excitement's starting to build as the crowd thickens, and we're going to be coming along right now with Her Worship Mayor Ruth Lovell, and she's driving today in a beautiful old yellow convertible. Can't tell what kind of car that is. Do you know what that is, Jim?
No, I'm not the car expert, John.
I used to know them all, but that's a long time ago.
You'll see throughout the parade we've got a number of old classic vehicles, and we're pleased to have everybody participate.
Yeah, and we can see today that Ruth has her grandchildren with her, which is a real nice touch.
Sure is.
To have her in the parade with them.
Now coming along is our homecoming chair, Ian Boddy, and his son Hamish, and that is a water gun they've got. Whoa.
He's going to get us wet.
Right, they're spraying the crowd, but Ian just did a great job with the parade, and we can't thank him enough.
He certainly did. Okay, here's one of the highlights of our parade, the OSCVI Trumpet Band. And of course, this band has been in existence since back in the 40s. Ed Stevens was the leader for many, many years, and they just wanted to get together one more time to perform for the reunion, and we're really pleased that they could get together.
What a great job they're doing, too. They formed up at the liquor store parking lot there, and it's just amazing to see how many are returning and how many are, and they're so enthusiastic, too, to take part in this parade.
I believe now they're going to sing or play the OSCVI school song, so let's have a listen. That was great. Nice to hear the OSCVI song. That was super.
Now, John, that's a little hard for you and I to take, being West Hill alumni, but
I know,
but we still appreciate them taking part in the parade. That's for sure.
So congratulations to the OSCVI Trumpet Band for making a wonderful appearance here at our parade today.
And then there's Ted Briggs marshalling them up as he does with the Legion Color Party. He's got them all in line, and it's working wonderfully.
Okay, here is one of our Owen Sound celebrities who was part of the trumpet band, of course, and that's Tommy Earls. And he's our special guest today, and he's being escorted up the main street. And everyone was just so thrilled to see Tommy to be able to be in the parade today.
We were very pleased. Tommy was one of our bigger celebrities to come back, and we were so pleased to have him, that's for sure.
Exactly. And what parade would not be complete without the OSCVI cheerleaders? And they've been doing some spectacular stunts, I guess you'd say, going up and down the main street. They're
yeah, it looks
lifting
like
each other up and throwing each other in the air, and really quite exciting.
And we were very pleased to get the OSCVI student body involved this year. It's
Yes.
tough during the summer months to get them all in there, but OSCVI managed to get their cheerleaders involved, and there'll be a float coming on. This is the OSCVI alumni. Stein Furness is on there. That was Doug Cumming, I believe. That's right,
All the
alumni.
different departments, the commercial department, the science department,
Yeah, they've got
the
them all.
sports department. There's Stein.
There's Stein there, yeah.
Hi, Stein.
They've done a great job putting that float together.
Look at that old buggy there in the shop department.
And here's the school buses, the current OSCVI Falcons, as it says on the side here.
Nice looking school bus.
Brand new.
Wow.
Guess it'll be going into service in a month or so when school
You're
starts up.
absolutely right.
Now we have the Emancipation Festival. This year is the as always on the August long weekend, the Emancipation Day picnic. And there's another town crier. That's Bruce Kruger from Bracebridge, and he comes down and helps out with the Emancipation Day festival. Another huge event at Harrison Park. Dennis Scott and that group have done a great job putting that all together, and they've got a float here as well. And some bike riders will be coming along shortly as well.
Right. Yeah, hats off to Dennis and all his crew for coordinating their Emancipation picnic every year, and this year I'm sure it's going to be doubly huge because of our homecoming.
I know they've got a tent down at Harrison Park, and they're expecting a huge crowd. So, Owen Sound, of course, was the last stop on the Underground Railroad, and this float is just depicting that.
They've done a great job with decorating this float, Jim. Look at the costumes, and
A lot of hard work.
a lot of hard work
in
is
there.
right. Congratulations to you guys. They did wonderful.
Now here comes the bicyclists. They're from. They traveled up from the Adventure Cycling Association, as that sign says. They traveled up from the United States and followed the route of the Underground Railway. And it was quite an exciting and quite a long tour. As you can see, there's something like 80 bicyclists here.
We were told there might be 15 or 20.
Right, when we were planning the parade, and this morning 80 showed up, so we were very pleased, pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
And they've had a long bike here, and we're really pleased to have them. They'll be leaving right from the parade here and heading down to Harrison Park for the festivities going on there.
Okay, next we have coming along the street here. This is the Canadian Mental Health Association, and they have a float, and this is their fan club.
Right, they've got.
And they have the puppets, of course, that are used at our schools. And big thank you to Jackie Ralph, who coordinates those.
There's Willis McLeese and Rob McLeese. They're from Cobble Beach, the big sponsors of the homecoming.
Okay, next we have the Chippewas of Nawash and the Saugeen Chiefs, and they're driving in a car owned by Gilbert Rice.
We were very pleased to have Chief Ralph Akawenzi and Chief Randall Coggy here today.
And coming up, of course, this fall is the Aaron Terra Fall Fair, and they're here today to help promote that and to be part of our birthday party. So thank you very much. They're having a pork barbecue.
On August 11th, apparently.
On August 11th.
Oh, we'll have to head out to that.
Excellent. And following that, we have the Air Cadet Alumni Association, and they've brought along today the biplane that they take out to special events. And we're really happy that they were here today as well. Looks like we should have Snoopy on there, don't you think, Jim?
Yeah, for sure. And now we have the Owen Sound and District Pipe Band. Is that right? We've got a number of pipe bands here today, but and we're pleased to have them. They really bring a lot to the parade.
Let's give them a listen. And of course, they're followed by the Owen Sound Legion Color Party. Happy to have them here with us today. And next we have
Oh, that's Lieutenant
Colonel
Robert Kearney. Let me get that right.
Okay.
He's the commanding officer of Land Forces Base Central Training Area in Meaford. And we'll see a little later on, we've got the troops from Meaford, but we're certainly glad to have their commanding officer here as well, take part.
Another snappy old car.
Number of them here today.
Wow, speaking of snappy old cars, look at these coming along, Jim. And I believe that these next few cars are escorting past presidents from the Owen Sound Legion.
That's right.
And really pleased that they could make it here today to be part of our parade.
That's right. All the past presidents. We've got Don McWhirter, Harold Gill, June Belanger, Nadine Gibbons, who's on the Ladies Auxiliary, Glenn Davis, Harry Hutchison, and a little later on, I believe, Bob Griffith.
There's Harold Gill, just went by.
Les Highfield's in there as well. I failed to mention him. He's in one of the cars as well.
Well, they sure look very relaxed and comfortable today out in this beautiful weather.
Yeah, we've got a big, with the military, there's the troops and there's Les Highfield there.
There's Les and his wife.
We've got, with the troops, and we're sure pleased to have the Legion Color Party and the past and present Legion President.
You can hear the applause coming, can't you? Wow.
You sure can. Look at that. Standing ovation by the crowd. Everybody up and applauding, and I guess so. Look at that. We are sure pleased to have our troops here with a lot of our forces deployed over in Afghanistan, and I think the crowd is acknowledging and appreciating the work that our military does. Boy, what a great moment this is.
Isn't that
Listen to the crowd.
very, very emotional.
I think there's about 40 soldiers there marching along.
And look at the tank.
Look, geez, I hope he's not pointing that at us, John, is he? Yeah, it looks like he is. They brought that over from Base Borden early this morning. Brought it over in a tractor trailer and then drove it over from Meaford once it got there. So,
Boy, I bet you every kid in the parade
would love to be
today would like to
involved
just
with
jump
that.
up and play on that for a little while.
Sure.
Okay, what do we have next here, Jim?
Let's see. Is this the Agricultural Society? It is the Owen Sound Agricultural Society. They've got their fall fair happening. Their 155th, I believe, this year. And we're very pleased to have them and animals in there as well.
Oh, that's part of the fall fair for sure.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
When I was a little kid, I always thought the fall fair was just a Ferris wheel and a merry-go-round. But,
it's a lot more than that now.
Sure is.
A lot more.
Okay, coming up the street now, Jim, is the contribution from the Georges and the Gilson families. And we're really appreciative of them coming in the parade today. As you know, they have just lost one of their fine members. Bill Georges has passed away this past week. But the show must go on, and
That's
the Georgeses are here.
And I think Bill would want them to as well.
Absolutely. And they're giving us the history of all the movie theaters in Owen Sound that they all owned. And I can remember as a kid going, and every Georges family member was there working as an usher or running the films or working behind the snack bar. And boy, oh boy, did they know how to put on a class act.
I worked at the Center in the Roxy for a few years as an usher and worked with Bill Georges. So, but we're sure glad to see them, and our condolences go out to their family. Bill was an icon in Owen Sound, and he's going to be missed.
Certainly was.
Well, now we've got a number of classic cars coming along. This first one is...
Isn't that something? A brand new truck towing an old truck.
Well, that's from the movie, that's Tow Mater from the movie Cars. A big, my son Connor, it's one of his favorite movies, so that's how I recognize that one. But
That's giving my age away, Jim.
Yeah, and maybe mine. And, a number of classic cars coming along. We're sure appreciated the classic car people and clubs in town coming forward. And
it's amazing how low to the ground some of these vehicles are. Like, I'd be afraid of going over a bump and losing half of the car. Look at the color, just fabulous.
They sure put a lot of work and effort into these new vehicles, the care and upkeep. There's a homecoming bow on the one car there.
Excellent.
I think there's 5,000 of those throughout the city, so you might see a few more of them. Now we've got Delbert Bruff coming along with his old let me get this. What year car is this? 1955, there we are, Ontario Provincial Police, old black and white. So look at that one.
Excellent.
Followed closely by a brand new 2007 OPP cruiser that they just got. They've returned, the OPP have returned to the black and whites, and this is the first one they've received in Grey County, so quite a contrast there.
Oh, I'm happy to see the black and whites back. Yeah, they're great. And then we have this little girl coming along the street with her puppy dog.
Gizmo.
And no, this isn't Gizmo.
Oh, this isn't Gizmo.
No, this is another one. This is Tina Butno, and she has made a little outfit for the dog to commemorate our homecoming. So thank you very much, Tina, for being in our parade. What do we have next here, Jim?
Well, that's the Loyal Orange Lodge with an antique boat. We're pleased to have them involved. Dave Daly, I think you'll see him in there. So, yep, there he is right there.
Super.
The Orange Lodge has been around in Owen Sound for an awful long time.
So this is an authentic antique boat. I wonder how old it is.
I don't know.
It's been all fixed up.
Yeah.
Looks great. And another one of our classic cars. And boy, does it look nice and shiny. That's a Chrysler. I got that one right.
Boy, you're going to outdo me on that, John. I'm not a classic car guy, unfortunately.
Candy apple red looking truck there.
Now, a horse-drawn carriage here. Yes, that's Larry Miller, our member of Parliament, and his wife Darlene.
Happy birthday, Owen Sound.
There's Gizmo.
There's Gizmo from... he's wearing a little suit as well.
Gizmo has on a homecoming tuxedo. Very first class.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you very much, Gizmo, for being in our parade. I'm sure he'll be delighting all the kids along the route.
Now we have the Georgian Bay Folk Society, I believe.
Okay.
They've got a big festival coming up.
It's August the
Summer Folk.
17th.
Third weekend in August.
It's always then, and they have a wonderful lineup this year. Murray McLaughlin, I understand, is coming to perform, and as well as many others.
Brenda Scott and Richard Nechtel have done a great job in putting this float together and running. They also helped with our opening ceremonies, which were great at Kelso Beach, and we appreciated their help there.
Absolutely. On your screen right now, we have Miss Western Ontario, Natalie Musselman, and she's very pleased to be here today and be part of our parade. And congratulations on becoming Miss Western Ontario. Now here's an old delivery
From
truck.
Eastside Mario's. Look at
Eastside
that.
Mario's.
You'll notice throughout the parade we've got a lot of old classic cars. I'm not even sure how many, but an awful lot. And we don't have the owners and the years of every car, but we sure appreciate them being in the
The
parade.
reason we don't have quite all the information on the cars is it depended on the weather today. Of course, some of these cars would probably shy away from coming out if we had a rainy day, but we certainly don't have that today. It's
No.
just perfect weather.
A lot of variety of old classic cars too, so that's just great. Yep, some of them just even turned up this morning to be in the parade, but we were glad to have them.
Exactly.
And this is one of our major sponsors coming along here. Is that Jim Newman in the front seat?
Jim
It is
Newman in
from Bell, and we're pleased to have Bell Canada involved in this parade. They were a major sponsor for us, and
They've done a lot of work. They have a committee of people who have worked very hard, not only on getting in the parade today, and as you see now their float is coming along the street, but they're also involved in helping to coordinate all the volunteers. And of course, to put on an event of this magnitude here in Owen Sound, we needed lots of volunteers, and Bell Canada and their people really helped to put that together, along with many others, of course. But happy to see Bonnie Bartley and a few of the others who worked very hard to make it all successful.
yes, Bell and well, along with Cobble Beach and Bell, major sponsors, but as you said, also really took part in the entire festival.
We have lots of sponsors. We're going to thank them all before we're finished
That's
here
for
today.
sure.
Acknowledge them. There's a history to this float. It's got everything from the old antique, you'll see it as it comes along here, the old antique phones in the very beginning, right up to the cell phone of today. There's Bonnie waving away. And there's...
They've got a lineman there
got
too.
a lineman.
Going up the post, yeah.
And look at the old switchboard operator.
Oh, yeah.
It's like on Laughing, remember?
That's, my grandmother was an old switchboard operator too, so
So was my mother-in-law.
I know that well.
Okay, thank you very much, Bell Canada. Now we have another special guest in our parade. Her name is Anne Milne, and Anne, of course, has been a world champion Highland dancer many, many times, and has recently returned to Owen Sound to work with her mother, Sheila Milne, at the Milne School of Dance. So we're very pleased to have the Milnes represented in our parade today.
That was another major sponsor, the Brick Brothers Volkswagen, and Barry Brick and his family in that driving that car as well. So we appreciate their sponsorship as well.
Thank you very much to the Bricks. And we have another band coming along now. This is the Grey County Highlanders Pipe Band, and let's give them a listen here for a minute.
They sound great. It's always they never have enough pipes and drums in the parade. Thanks to Lois Crawford for arranging that. Now we've got a very exciting entry coming along.
Yes, we have the Women with Sticks. There's quite a story behind these ladies. They're all middle-aged women who, most of them, have never actually twirled a baton before, and they got inspired at a party over this past winter and decided to get together and put something together for our parade, and boy, do they look great today.
They sure do. A lot of practice went into this.
Thank you very much, ladies. Keep up the good work, and hope to see you at the Santa Claus Parade this year.
That's for sure. They really bought into the whole homecoming and the spirit of it, and we really appreciate their participation, that's for sure.
Now we have our MPP, Bill Murdoch, and he's coming along in a lovely horse and carriage, and he has a special guest I see with him,
That's
other
right.
than his wife Susan.
Of course, well, Bob and Carol Griffith are in there. Bob's classic car actually broke down. He's the president of the Legion, and his car broke down, so Mr. Murdoch was nice enough to offer him a ride in his horse carriage, and I know he appreciated it because he didn't want to walk the whole ride.
And here we have a couple of...
Mr. Stoneman from
Mr. Stoneman.
Schuldice Cement Products, and of course Cubby from The Attack, very popular.
And we'd like to thank our friends at Bayshore Broadcasting for taking part in our parade today. They have their news cruiser and their other vehicles which go all over our fine area here and report on different activities that are happening
look at
throughout the summer.
There's the monster from Boston Pizza, their mascot as well. It scares the daylights out of my son.
Does that? Right?
Yeah, my little guy.
Well, when our kids were little, they were afraid of the Smurfs. Believe it or not.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
They were similar looking, I guess.
Yeah. More classic cars coming along here.
Looks like about a 58 Chevy. Wrong, or Pontiac.
Oh, we'll hear about it if you're wrong.
No. Beautiful cars. Now we have the representative from the Green Party, Victoria Serta, and there she is riding her bicycle. Of course, that's a very good representation.
Clean transportation. We're pleased. She's the deputy leader of the Green Party. We're pleased to have her in the parade.
And there's one of our local heroes, Jan Chamberlain.
And
good for Jan.
She sure is one of our local heroes.
She's worked very hard on making this whole
just done an incredible job.
Homecoming a success. And next we have Matt Capel. Matt Capel is a marketing design expert
out of Toronto,
Toronto.
He designed the Homecoming logo, and the sound is Calling You Home, the name. And with him is his mother, Marg, who's been involved with many, many homecomings.
That's right. Way back in 1957, when she was just a slip of a girl, she worked on that one, and here she is today.
Next, we've got the Red Hat Group, the Rocking Red Berries. And look at them, all dressed up for the parade.
Now, do you think these ladies are having any fun?
Yeah, it's too bad they couldn't have a little more fun, eh?
Yes.
They're enjoying a teddy bear picnic decked out in red and purple, as you can see. And they've got a number of them into the back of that truck, don't they?
This Red Hat Society has really taken off, and
Sure
there's several different groups of them in our community and around the area. And they get together and they do a lot of things together. They go to plays together, or they'll go to down to Toronto shopping or whatever. And I think it's a wonderful way for women to get together and have some fun.
And you'll always know them by the red hats.
Exactly.
Thanks to Burl McClay for putting that on.
Happy birthday to Doreen. I won't tell you how old she is today.
It's so many they couldn't even all fit into the back of the truck. They brought another vehicle along.
Perfect. Now we have our representatives from Zares, and there's the baker, and he's definitely representing Zares well. As we know, their bake shop is. Anytime I walk in that store, man, can you smell the fresh baking?
They've got a 12-foot inflatable tractor pulling a produce wagon, so have a look at that. I'm sure the little kids will love that.
Remember, kids, eat your vegetables. Rock and roll is here to stay. We have our friend Brian Pauley, who of course is well known throughout our area. Brian, he's riding in Bev Long's 55 Pontiac convertible, and Pauley was the first Owen Sound musician, vocalist to hit the rock and roll stage, and he became famous in our area and beyond. So congratulations to Brian, and he had the original band, the Rhythm Rockers.
Thanks for Arnie Clark for arranging that. And,
absolutely.
We'll see him later on at the dance tonight. Oh, here's some mascots from McDonald's. You might recognize a few of them. The Hamburglar there, and Grimace. Not sure the other one's name, but I'm sure some of the kids out there will know it.
I'm sure your son will.
That's right. The interesting one coming along here later. Right now, a horse-drawn hearse from Brian E. Wood Funeral Home.
This is quite something. I mean, this is the type of thing you would have seen in times gone by, and you're laying in state for everyone to see, as you can see through the glass, to where the body would be. And kind of glad they don't have that in today's world.
That's for sure.
It's something back then.
Well, we're glad to have them in the parade as well, because we're really
Absolutely.
trying to represent the entire history of Owen Sound, and certainly this is one of our best antique entries.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, and then look, they've got somebody following along behind, scooping up after the
Very
horse.
crucial. Very crucial.
Big, important part of the parade.
Representation today from our seniors, of course, Kelso Villa Retirement Home, and we'd like to thank them for coming out today and being part of our 150th Homecoming Parade. There's Silence the Clown. He's
There he
coming
is,
along
that's
the
right.
street, and that gentleman is, 80 years old? He did tell us.
Yes.
And he's very, very active in the community, and we really appreciate him coming out today. And he's the kind of guy, he stops and talks to the kids, and they're having a wonderful time.
And then to follow up on that other entry from Kelso Villa, now we've got a float coming along as well with a number of their residents, and and they're dressed up in garb from days gone by.
And are they having fun or what?
A little dancing going on there. That's great to have them involved.
Super duper.
Thanks for coming. Oh, and there's Oops the Clown as well. Oops is another popular clown in the area, and we're glad to have him.
There we are, 1951 white, and this is from E.C. King. And we'd like to thank...
Their old gravel truck, look at
yes.
that. Thanks to Barry Bradley and the people at E.C. King and Neil MacArthur as well.
Now we have our representation
From the city and the downtown improvement area. This is our the DIA float that we use in the Santa Claus parades and also used in the Festival of Northern Lights. Just a depiction of historic Owen Sound.
Very
really
well
nice
done.
floats, really well put together.
And that, of course, will be on display, I imagine, again this year at the Festival of Northern Lights.
Sure will. The Owen Sound City Band coming along now. They've been around for an awful long time. First formed in 1925. Let's give them a listen. Aren't they great? What parade would be complete without the city band being in it? And thanks to Bob Bell, who's retiring as the bandmaster. Done an awful lot of good work over the years. Thank you, Bob.
Now we have from Jesco Builders a beautiful float with some absolutely wonderful
Antiques and quilting displays.
quilting displays. We'd like to thank Annie McCartney and all the gang, and Cliff McCartney for putting that together. And nice to see those quilts. They're beautiful. And what parade would not be complete without the Shriners? This is the Ramoka Shrine group coming along first with their color party. Now there's an antique car.
It sure is. They've got a couple of trailers here and some Model Ts and some. They've got an Oriental band playing. I believe a little later you might see a few of their motorcycles going
Mr.
around.
Miller. Here's the Oriental band. They spend hours and hours rehearsing.
And they still don't get any better.
And they still don't get any better, but they have a lot of fun.
They sure do. You're right. It wouldn't be a parade without having them involved.
They're all getting a little older. They used to march.
Now there you see some of their antique cars, and that's the I don't know if you mentioned the Bruce
Ross
Shrine
King.
Club as well.
Yeah.
As well as the Ramoka Shrine Club out of this area, and they've all got their motorcycles.
Cool.
See those little mini cycles. Managed to drive those around and haven't crashed into each other yet, so that's
Wow. Ew. I'm not very tall, but I think even I'd have a hard time squeezing into one of these little cars. I don't know how they do it.
The Shriners sure do a lot of good work in the community and across the province and the country, really. So
They sure do. They're noted for the work they do with children that have had severe burns, and they have a wonderful hospital in Montreal where a lot of kids go for treatment. Without the help of the Shriners, it wouldn't happen. So, congratulations to the Shrine groups and all the work that they do in the community.
they had their big convention on Owen Sound in 2004.
They sure did.
A lot of Shriners here ran a very successful parade themselves. Now this is followed by the Bruce Shrine Club.
Look at all the teddy bears, Jim.
And we want our pop cans as well.
Yes. Now, who's the clown in these pictures? Is it?
I'm not sure. I don't think that's Oops, is it? No.
I think that could be one of their the Shrine guys.
They brought some clowns with them as well.
They brought some clowns with them.
And you get the crowd up and dancing. Good for them.
Well, the Green Party would like him. He's on his bike.
He's got his own bike. Boy, they're still coming. Boy, when those Shriners, when they say they're coming to parade, they come in force. Don't they look at their...
And quite a caravan.
Sure do. Look at the precision motorcycle riding there. They have...
You're making me dizzy just looking at them.
I can feel it up here. That's all right. Thanks.
Following up the Shrine Club, we've got a 1927 fire truck from the Terra Smoke Eaters, the Terra Fire Department.
Doesn't look very big, does it?
not compared to that fire truck we saw earlier. Probably not quite as expensive either.
No. Well, it's in wonderful shape.
They've really restored it
They
nicely.
certainly have. We've got a Dalmatian on the back.
Look at that. I'm not sure it costs quite as much as the other one. Now following that, we've got former Mayor of Owen Sound, Warren Lougheed. And there's his son Greg and grandkids in the back. Warren was mayor of Owen Sound in 1975-76, and we appreciate Warren taking part in the parade.
Now we have Henry Feenstra, and he's brought today 2 tractors for us to look at, and aren't they in wonderful shape, Jim?
Nothing runs like a deer. It looks like they're John Deeres.
They are.
Thanks to Henry for taking part.
Okay, next we have Jim, the Grey Bruce chapter of the Canadian Paraplegic Association, and we'd like to thank Merv Redner for putting this all together for us today. And that's quite a car they brought along.
Sure is a Project Track Champion car, and it's designed and built for those with disabilities to be part of the racing world. So that's a pretty impressive vehicle there.
Now here's some old Owen Sound history, Jim. This is the Crystal Dairy Stagecoach. We'd like to thank Lorraine Knutson for getting this in our parade today. And of course the Crystal Dairy has been part of Owen Sound's history for many, many years.
Yeah, what do we have here? Oh, I think that's one of our late breaking entries that came in right near the end. That's from our Métis friends, and that's a Red River cart, I believe. Yes, I think that's what it is. They were late getting to us, but we're sure glad to have them in the parade as well.
Absolutely, Jim. Next we have the representation from the Canadian Cancer Society, and they're playing some music and having some fun, so let's give them a listen.
They have their Relay for Life coming up at Victoria Park.
It's in September, yes.
In September. There's a float from Pumpkin Fest. Speaking of things coming up in the fall, that's in the, I believe, the first week in October.
Look at the little horsey.
Mini horses. Look at those.
Aren't they cute?
Wow, that's a big head. Boy, the kids love seeing those. They're from the Double Diamond Ranch just outside Owen Sound. Thanks to Robin Smith for the miniature horse-drawn carriages. This is from the Lutheran Social Services and the St. Francis Place Choir, singing songs from past concerts.
Look at their pink hats on the guys. Ha ha.
Glad to have them along.
Wow, look at the antique boat coming up now. This is put in our parade by the Georgian Yacht Club, and we'd like to thank all the people down at the Georgian Yacht Club for taking part in our parade today. And we'd like to Ed Griffith, he's the Commodore, and has put in this antique boat for us. Thanks, Ed.
Here's Frank Stott with an old fire truck, a 1939 Chev, half-ton fire truck. Look at that. Originally in service in Wyerton from 1935 to 74.
Now look at this next group. Are they having any fun? This has got to be the Eddie Sargent Swim Across the Bay.
Look at those guys.
This will be taking place, of course, tomorrow.
Now we've got the Georgian Bay Caledonia Pipe Band marching down the street. Boy, don't they sound great. This is the last of our pipe bands for the parade.
Nothing like the sound of a good pipe band, and we were very blessed with our parade today, having 3 different groups participate, and we really appreciate them coming out today.
Well, these fellows are from the Scenic City of Order of Good Cheer. You might recognize Ed Racco, and is that Burke Mason with them?
I think so, but
think it is.
I wouldn't make any bets.
Boy, this group does an awful lot of good work in our community. They did the gazebo, and that's what they're depicting in their float here. They did the gazebo. There's Tom Gillespie, their president.
Yes. And of course, we give them high marks for all the work they've done getting the rink down at the Harrison Park up and running.
They started with the boat launch, then the gazebo, and now the ice rink down at Harrison Park. And boy, I wonder what their next project will be.
I don't know, but I'm sure it'll be a great one.
We'll wait and see. And naturally, no club would be successful without the support of their spouses there. There's the wives in the back of that pickup. Good to see them along as well.
There's our old friend Mayor Stu Taylor, who was mayor from 1994 to 2001, and he's here today with his wife Sharon, and looks like a grandchild in the back. Hi, Stu.
Sure glad Stu could come back for the parade. We were really pleased to have him back.
And now we have coming along on our beautiful downtown Main Street of the Plowmen's Association float. And this is put in by the Keppel, Sarawak, and North Grey Plowmen's Association, a proud part of Owen Sound and area. So thank you for taking part. Now look who's coming. Ha ha!
Oh, the Dukes of Hazzard.
The Dukes of Hazzard.
The General Lee, and followed closely by Sheriff Roscoe P. Oh, they're handing out moonshine, it looks like, along the road.
Where's Daisy?
That's what we need in this parade. Daisy Duke. There goes the General Lee, the Duke boys, and Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane. Looks like he's a great athlete. Boy, they're having a lot of fun.
That was a big hit in the 80s, wasn't it? Now there's a beautiful old car. One of the classic cars that are part of our parade today. Next we have Ron Lipset. And Ron, of course, was our MPP for a couple of years, and we're happy to have him on board in our parade today. Thanks, Ron.
And of course, Ovid Jackson coming along. 82 to 93 was our mayor, and then 93 to 2004 member of parliament. Glad to have you, Ovid. Driven in a Volkswagen by one of our major sponsors.
Next we have from the County of Grey a wonderful steam engine. Isn't that something there, Jim? Very entertaining. Randy Elder, the warden, Bob Pringle, Jeff Hogan, Ed Noble, Brian Manser, and Sarah Sales all took part in putting this together, and they have as their special guest today, of course, Warden Pringle, and he's having a ball.
He's manning the whistle by the looks of things.
That looks right. Anyway, enjoy.
Wow, isn't that something? Look at that. That might be our #1 entry, John. That is very impressive seeing that.
Certainly is. Okay, we'd like to thank our good friend Wayne King at Riddell Contracting. He has a wonderful collection of antique vehicles, and they're going by right now. We see the old grader, and look at the truck. Look at the beautiful condition that it's in. Just excellent. Thank you very much, Wayne. Of course, that was an E.C. King truck. That was his father's business back in the day here in Owen Sound.
We've got a number of entries coming along.
Yes, he had put four different things in the parade today, Jim. This one kills me. It's a steam shovel. Look at that. Of course, it's made with wood and just looks super, and it's in wonderful shape. And I give Wayne a lot of credit for keeping these things in such good shape.
Wayne's done a lot of good work down at the Marine and Rail Museum as well.
Nice looking fire truck.
Sure is. Old ladder truck. But a number of them. Starting with the brand new one from the city, and
That's
now
kind of a cute little fireman woman up there.
firefighter, John. That's the
Firefighter.
correct term now.
Okay. Now we have some antique tractors.
That's right. Robert and Renita Williams from Chatsworth, the Chatsworth area, have 5 antique farm tractors. Well, it looks like they have 3 there, but they're pulling them in a train.
What parade would not be complete as the grand finale other than to have Santa Claus? And he's here in his summer garb. He's relaxing. He's coming to enjoy some fun times at Owen Sound's 150th anniversary.
Santa down from the North Pole to help us out. He's on a bit of vacation here for homecoming as well. We're really glad to have him. We must thank the Kiwanis Club of Owen Sound, who have done a great job marshalling this parade and putting in their Santa float as well to help out your old Saint Nick.
Special thanks to Linda Droyne and Cheryl Bryan and Linda Van Alst and some other people who really worked hard to help us with all their expertise to make this parade a success.
Well, John, it's been a great parade. What a great day. It's been a great time. Really appropriate, almost ending for our homecoming.
That's right. We'd like to really thank everyone who has participated in the parade today, and thank all the people who have come out in droves to enjoy it, and thank the good guy up above for giving us such fabulous weather.
It's been a wonderful homecoming, hasn't it, John?
It certainly has. So on behalf of myself and Jim, we'd like to just say
Happy birthday,
Owen Sound.
So far, this parade's been fabulous. All the pretty animals and the great bands and the great city of Owen Sound.
This is fantastic. What do you have to say about it? So much fun. They put a lot of work into it. It's really great for Owen Sound.
This is awesome! The best parade I've ever seen here. And I've seen a few, but this is the greatest.
What a great parade. These are really enthusiastic folks here in Owen Sound. And a super day.